Well, at least we didn't get blown out by the Broncos. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Yeah, that was bad. Grossi, and today we're going to be talking about the Green Bay Packers being defeated by the Kansas City Chiefs by the score of 13-7. Before we get to that, I want a big shout and thank you to some brand new patrons and YouTube members. First, on the Patreon side of things, we have Dart XMZ, Harry, we have Caleb Harold, we have Benj Rich, we have Saswat Sahu, we have Kelsey Parks, we have Ryan and Andrew B. A big shout out and thank you to you all. And over on the YouTube side of things, we have Inject Chicken, we have John Mark Lydell, we have Ray Oz, we have Nathaniel Sattler, we have Pumpkin Patch, and we have Super Hygienic Cowboy. A big shout out and thank you to you all. So I have so many thoughts about this game, and I streamed the Sunday Night Football game, so I wasn't able to make this right away. And I'm kind of glad that I didn't, because this probably would have been a lot more angry if I did it right after the game. And the anger really wasn't aimed at the Packers, because while I was streaming, we had over 6,000 people in that stream. And throughout the course of the game, I just noticed that whenever something went wrong, it was either the special teams who was blamed, which we will talk about because they played horrifically, or it was all on Jordan Love. And as the game went on and the offense was stagnant and couldn't get anything going, the blame kept going towards Jordan Love over and over and over again. And again, as this entire week has been just horrific, to be completely honest, I think it's important to navigate through the nuances that is this game and realize it's a team sport. And so the reason why Jordan Love was not successful today, part of it, was on Jordan Love, and part of it's on Matt LaFleur's play calling. And on top of that, another part is the offensive line, which was just like, hey, Jordan, did you buy us all Christmas presents? No? All right, I guess you'll die then. But let's take a look at some stats first, and then we'll jump into those narratives. Jordan Love, 19 for 34, 190 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, took a sack, also rushed for 23 yards. And looking at what Jordan Love could do, if we're just going to focus on him for right this second, Jordan Love missed some throws. 100%. Those first 2 drives, he was inaccurate. He looked definitely nervous. On top of that, as the game went on, a couple of even those deep throws, like that deep shot to Cobb, could have been picked. There was 2 interceptions that should have been against the Chiefs, 2 additional interceptions. And he looked like a QB, how do I put this, who has never started an NFL game before. Shocker. But breaking down just these stats before we even get into the offensive line, the guy had to throw the ball 34 times. That's a problem, because if we're looking for balance, there was a significant lack of that, because heading into this game, the Kansas City defense is bad. They're not good. They're not a good defense. And I was like, oh, well, maybe, this won't be too bad for Jordan Love. Yes, it's an Arrowhead, and, it's a hostile stadium. It's super duper loud. It's his first start. There's going to be a lot against him, but you'll have Devontae Adams back, MVS is going to be back, etc. But the fact that you went in with this, and both Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon combined for a total of 20 carries, like, what are we doing? And LaFleur even was talking about this in his press conference. I just think that the game planning, while the Chiefs did a nice job on defense, and we'll talk about that in a second, it just wasn't there to put Jordan in the best possible position to succeed. And listen, Jones, 12 for 53. He ripped off 1. 8 for 46 for Dillon. Also caught 4 for 44. Some really nice catches by A.J. Dillon. And I think that just looking at this game plan, the Packers were constantly in trouble, because heading into this week, LaFleur specifically said, listen, like the entire playbook is not going to be open for Jordan Love. They're not going to expect Jordan Love to do the same things that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do because that's just an unfair comparison. And I want to stop there for a second too. If anyone thought that Jordan Love was going to be better than Aaron Rodgers, one, have you seen Aaron Rodgers play this season? And two, why would you think that? It's his first NFL start. Neither here nor there for right this second, but we'll circle back. But Jordan Love, constantly under pressure. Only got sacked one time, but constantly. And I mean every second. He nearly had people in his face as soon as he snapped the ball. There was miscommunications with receivers, which again shouldn't be too shocking because a guy like Davante Adams probably practiced with him, maybe once. And on top of that, they were going through COVID protocols, so that's going to limit the amount of time that they're physically spending together. But Jordan Love looked like a rookie QB, and they're like, yes, he sat for a year. But folks, like, it was his first NFL start. And if you want to look at against the guy he was playing with, Patrick Mahomes, on his first NFL start, 22 for 35, 284 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. Like, I know, listen, Patrick Mahomes is really good. I know Justin Herbert came in, was lighting up the league. But, like, those are outliers. This takes time. Aaron Rodgers was not great when he started off on the Green Bay Packers. In fact, during the preseason, he was awful. Awful. So I want us to take like a big step back because if you're looking at this game and going, and I got a lot of this, if you're looking, oh my God, Jordan Love's the reason we lost this game. I truly, and I mean this, I don't know what game you're watching because what I saw was bad scheming, bad play calling. Like the fact that the Chiefs were able to say, oh, well, Jordan Love's in shotgun. All right, well, we're just going to blitz him because they were daring the Packers to throw the ball all day. They were stacking the box. And then for some reason, there were so many times on third down where it was just Jordan Love in shotgun. There was no back next to him. It was an empty set. And the defense was like, oh, okay, cool. They're going to throw the ball. I dare him to throw the ball on us. And Jordan Love in the fourth quarter was able to move the ball a little bit more efficiently. Finally got a touchdown to Allen Lazard. But you look at these receiver stats, Cobb, 3 for 50. Adams, 6 for 42. These aren't like blowing anybody away. Jordan Love, definitely a work in progress. And I can't sit here and be like, oh, he's a bust. Or I can't say, oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Or he's going to be really good. Or he's going to be really bad. And the thing is, nobody can. We have seen this guy play one NFL start. That's it. Had no preseason last year, had a limited preseason this year because of an injury. Like, yeah, I'm looking at this and going, all right, it's good experience for Jordan Love. Is he going to get any better than this? I don't know. I think there's flashes. I think there's a lot to be cleaned up in terms of accuracy, about terms of like being under pressure and what he's going to do with the ball. But again, this stuff takes time. It takes time to develop a QB. And you're going to look at the Patrick Mahomes and the Justin Herberts of the world. I mean, look at Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the guy's struggling this season, right? It ebbs and flows. And especially for young QBs who haven't played football in years at this point, it's going to take time. But that was the offense. The offensive line greatly struggled. Play calling, not that great. Definitely didn't lean on the run to help a rookie because he basically is a rookie QB. And Jordan Love struggled today himself personally. Looking at the defense, a completely different story. That defense, without Zadarius Smith, Kenny Clark getting injured with a back injury, he was out of the game. Eric Stokes getting hurt in warmups, he didn't play. No Jair Alexander. This defense was phenomenal. They did real good with their backs against the wall, and they played damn good football. Chris Barnes, what a game. 7 solo tackles, one of them for a loss. Of course, Devondre Campbell continuing to do well. 4 solo tackles himself. Rashawn Gary even had himself a sack. There wasn't a ton of pressure on Patrick Mahomes, which was kind of frustrating because he had a lot of time to throw that football for many, many plays. But overall, the Packers held Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs to 237 total yards of offense. That's pretty damn impressive. And on top of that, the special teams, which put them in bad situations, whether it was the muffed punt, in which they basically got the ball already in the red zone, and the Packers held them to 3 points, or the fact that, speaking of special teams, talk about how we left 6 points on the board, or there were so many 3-and-outs from our offense and the defense was constantly put back out there. Yeah, the defense played really good football with all those injuries, and Joe Barry, man, he earned that job. Speaking of special teams, besides the blocked field goal and the missed field goal from Crosby, in which there was holding issues, what have you, Amari Rodgers, I think, can be a good football player. He needs to stop returning kicks. Like, we need to be done with this. Needs to stop returning punts, needs to stop returning kicks, because it's going to cost us a game. And here, while he muffed it and fell back on top of it, and that's great, it's going to be an issue. Throw Randall Cobb back there, even if he's just calling for a fair catch. Or honestly, at this point, don't even send anyone back there. Just have us start on our own 5 every single time. Because the times that there's a punt and I'm literally holding my breath going, please don't fumble the ball. Like, that's all I want you to just please do not muff this. It's getting ridiculous. So the special teams needs to fix itself, and real quick, because when we get in the playoffs, we cannot afford to lose it because of a muffed return. Looking at Mahomes, 20 for 37, 166 yards, 1 touchdown, pretty pedestrian. Had that great play at the very end for Tyreek Hill for him to get open. Williams, 19 for 70, Kelsey, 5 for 68, Hill, 4 for 37, and Tommy Townsend, their punter, did a great job today. Backed Jordan Love up constantly. Then the Packers really had to start on their own side of the field, deep in their own territory. And that's really not so great for any starting QB, whether it's your first game or multiple games. So where this leaves us, the Packers are currently number 2 in the standings in the entire NFC. The Cardinals are once again number 1. This is actually not bad news for the Packers, considering the Rams lost tonight, which was big. And on top of that, we hold the tiebreaker over the Cardinals because we defeated them last week. So if the Cardinals lose one more game and the Packers continue to win, we're in good shape. Aaron Rodgers can return on Saturday. That's the earliest he can return, which would be a day before the Seattle Seahawks game. He has to be asymptomatic, and I hope he returns. And again, like, I don't know who was looking at this and saying, I expect Jordan Love to go out and beat a 3-time MVP and Super Bowl champion. I don't know what those expectations were. Like, I was saying, hey, let's see what the kid has. I think, again, there was those flashes, and I think he struggled. And I don't think all of his struggles were solely based on him. We do not have enough tape. We do not have enough games, enough experience, or anything like that. If Jordan Love is going to be the next franchise QB of this team, we need time. A lot of time. And he also needs to play fracking more games. So right now, Aaron Rodgers is our best chance to win a Super Bowl. I don't know who doubted that beforehand, but he is our best chance to do it. And so when he comes back, hopefully he stays healthy, everything's good, and this offense is able to reach its full potential, because it was definitely not there today. So it's a tough loss, but in the grand scheme of things, because you had so many upsets today, hopefully it doesn't wind up hurting the Packers. Hopefully the Cardinals drop another game. The Packers are able to keep pace with them, and we can still potentially clinch that first round bye. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. How did you feel about this game? How did you feel about Jordan Love's performance? I'm curious to get your thoughts. I mean, again, there was just so much negativity, and immediately going like, oh man, he's a bust. And it's from Packers fans, not even from trolls. It's Packer fans. And it's wild to me. Like, I think he performed better than Brett Hundley did, like, under Mike McCarthy. And I know that's a low bar, right? Because, like, he's a first round pick and what have you. But I think there needs to be some context here that, one, he hasn't played football in quite some time. It's his first start on the road. The offensive line really struggled. The play calling wasn't great. That's going to be tough for any QB to deal with. And for Jordan Love, I'm not saying he did great with it, but I'm also not here saying after 60 minutes of NFL football that he's a bust. But let me know what you think. You know, find me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy on all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.